Good evening, everyone. So lovely to see all of you on this wonderful, wonderful evening, and welcome to the 49th Annual Letelier Moffitt Human Rights Awards. There we go, there we go. It is a profound honor to see all of you here, longtime friends of the Institute for Policy Studies, and those joining us for the first time in the beautiful Friends Meeting House. My name is Tope Falarin, and I'm the Executive Director of the Institute for Policy Studies. Thank you. We gather each year because on September 21st, 1976, brutal terrorists assassinated two of our IPS colleagues, Orlando Letelier and Ronnie Carpin Moffitt, just 4 blocks away from here at Sheridan Circle. From that moment of horror, a movement grew. For nearly half a century, the Letelier Moffitt Awards have transformed tragedy into a living testament to courage. We come together to remember and to recommit, to draw strength from the past and chart the course ahead. As we do so, we're honored to be joined by members of the Letelier and Moffitt families. 12 days ago, we stood with the 4 Letelier sons at Sheridan Circle, and tonight we are deeply pleased to have Ronnie's niece, Rebecca Carpin, with us. Thank you for coming. I cannot help but think that Orlando Letelier would be proud to see how his fellow Chileans and his extended family worked tirelessly with allies around the world for 17 years to defeat a dictator and restore democracy. That example offers us guidance now. We need to know that a country can fall into the depths of authoritarianism and reemerge from that darkness. We need the lessons of Chile and beyond. Tonight's ceremony takes place amid uncertainty and pain, wars abroad, rising authoritarianism at home, widening inequality everywhere. Yet history reminds us that despair is never the final word. The people we honor tonight and the movements they represent prove that imagination and persistence remain our most powerful tools of liberation. Imagination allows us to see beyond the cages and borders that certain forces are trying to build around us. Persistence makes that vision real. Together, they form the enduring rhythm of progress, the quiet, stubborn heartbeat of justice that has powered this ceremony through 49 years. Our honorees tonight embody that rhythm. The Detention Watch Network has worked for decades to abolish the inhumane system of immigrant detention in the United States. They remind us that freedom is not a privilege to be granted. It is a right to be defended again and again until every single person is treated with dignity. Jeanette Vizguerra, fearless immigrant rights leader, has risked everything to protect families and challenge injustice. Her courage has illuminated the path for countless others, proving that one person's moral clarity can become a movement's compass. And from Argentina, the National Coordinating Roundtable of Organizations of Retirees and Pensioners shows us what it means to fight for the rights of those too often overlooked, the elders who built the foundations of their nation, and who now organize, march, and demand a life of respect and security. Their struggle is a reminder that human rights do not expire with age. At this event, we sometimes honor great human rights luminaries who've left us in the past year. This year, we want to take a moment to honor a great luminary who's still very much with us. Ann Barnett first became wedded to IPS through marriage. Her husband, Richard Barnett, co-founded the Institute along with Marcus Raskin in 1963. Somehow, Ann managed to juggle medical school and raising 3 children while her husband took on the massive task of getting a new institution off the ground. She went on to become a respected pediatrician and a visionary in family-centered care. In 1980, she founded The Family Place, DC's first educational and support service organization for low-income families, including immigrants. To mark the 45th anniversary, the Family Place is honoring Anne by naming a new early childhood campus after her. Please give a warm round of applause for Dr. Ann Barnett. She is 95 years old and still going strong. Well deserved. No, you're fine. Yeah.
To say that you wage war to make peace. You tell lies in order to have some truth. No. The Institute has spoken truth to power for all of its years.
Hear, hear. So beautifully said, and thank you so much for being here with us today. And speaking of family members of our founders, we're also pleased to welcome Marcus Raskin's family and the rest of the Raskin family this evening. I believe they're also, I see Lynn, I see Eden. Thank you so much for joining us as well. There is no shortage of crises commanding our attention tonight. Yet some remain central to our collective work. One is Gaza. 2 days after the anniversary of the attack that began what is now 2 years of a brutal genocide, Gaza has become both the watchword and the moral core of this new justice generation. A touchstone for all who seek to challenge authoritarianism and rising fascism. We remain hopeful that a ceasefire will commence soon. And here at home, yeah. And here at home, amid the onslaught against federal workers, courage also takes quieter forms. Earlier this year, IPS published an op-ed by HUD fair housing lawyer Paul Osadebe, urging his colleagues who had not been fired to remain, to keep serving those most in need. A week ago, Paul was fired for blowing the whistle on the rollback of fair housing enforcement. Tonight, we are joined by 2 more HUD employees who have stepped forward to reveal how personnel cuts and political pressure are crippling the fight against housing discrimination. Their bravery reminds us that the struggle for justice is fought not only in the streets, but within the halls of government. Each of these honorees and allies has faced forces meant to break the human spirit, and each has chosen, instead, to build. They imagine a world beyond fear, and then they make it real. That's the lesson of this evening, and indeed of this tradition, that the most radical act in times like these is to envision, to believe even now that justice can prevail, that solidarity can outlast cruelty, that the small lights we kindle can, in time, form a new dawn. As we celebrate tonight's awardees, let us remember that the work of Letelier and Moffitt was never meant to end. It persists into the future. The torch they carried now burns in the hands of those we honor tonight and in yours. Now we turn to the part of the ceremony that all of you are waiting for, the presentation of our 2 awards. First to present the International Award is Kathy Feingold. She is a leading advocate on global workers' rights and gender equity issues. As director of the AFL-CIO's International Department, Feingold is a committed and passionate advocate, strategic campaigner, and policy expert. In 2018, Feingold was elected Deputy President of the International Trade Union Confederation, the organization representing 200 million unionized workers worldwide. She has been a core ally in IPS's international work for over 2 decades, rallying with IPS against toxic mining in El Salvador, strategizing with many past Letelier Moffitt International awardees, and working with IPS on different parts of a 21st century global agenda for workers. She embodies the word solidarity. Please welcome Kathy Feingold to present the 2025 International Award.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a wonderful event. I have to say, this might be my favorite event here in Washington, D.C. All right, it's on tape. I mean, I love all the other labor events I go to as well. But really, each year, this event is a way to connect with each other. To all of you who do such important work to carry out the mission of IPS, to look at this room, it really fills me with so much hope that together with our collective actions, indeed, we're going to bring about that transformative agenda that IPS carries. It is my great pleasure to join you here tonight to present this award. I have worked with IPS, with John and Sarah and Tope and Manuel and many others in the room for decades. And their spirit of internationalism and of bringing together movements across our silos has been an inspiration to all of us in the labor movement. In this room, we all know that we are in the fight of our lives, in the face of an onslaught of cruel and terrifying attacks on dignity and rights and democracy. And I am so glad you pointed out the people here who are courageously standing up, because that is what we need to be doing. And all of us know that this fight is here in DC, it's in our country, and it's around the world. It is a global fight. And to fight effectively the bonds of the authoritarians across borders, because they are organizing across borders. We know this, and we are tracking it as the global labor movement. We must build even stronger bonds among the unions, environmentalists, the feminists, the youth, and democracy fighters in all countries around the world. This has never been more important. I've spent my life building the power of workers, and I'm proud to be the Deputy President of the International Trade Union Confederation. And as we build power, I've been inspired by the work of unions in Argentina. In Argentina, you are showing us the inspiration. You have stood up to a brutal military dictatorship decades ago, and you've survived as movements, as your movement, as the trade union movement, and you are standing up bravely to the rising authoritarianism in your country today. For over a century, one of the most important fights for dignity in the United States, in Argentina, and elsewhere has been the fight for security and dignity of our elders. A fight my sisters, who are here, and it's so exciting to see Aijampu and Sarita Gupta right here in the front row, who have been our sisters, who have led in the United States, and I would say globally as well, because the global labor movement has been very inspired by the work that you do with the creation of Caring Across Generations, the work that we continue to fight to do in this country. And yet many of the protections we have won, Social Security in this country, we know are under attack. It's okay, because we are in the fight. But in Argentina, the group at the center of this fight for security and dignity is a group who is here tonight who are honoring the National Coordinating Roundtable of Organizations of Retirees and Pensioners of the Republic of Argentina. The Roundtable is an umbrella organization of pensioners, retirees that have been fighting for the rights and interests of elders for over 30 years. And I had the honor of talking with them yesterday. I can tell you, some of them have been in the fight almost the entire time of the organization. It is an inspiration. We uplift them tonight. We uplift all of you tonight and honor you for your brave work. The Roundtable started its activities in 1994 and played a crucial role in the struggle of retirees against a dangerous government plan to privatize pension programs, something we know about in this country, a process that directly attacked the rights and security of retirees in Argentina. Today, they face an even greater threat under the government of President Javier Milei. You might remember when Milei came to Washington this past February and proudly presented Elon Musk with what? The gift of a chainsaw. Boo. For them, the harsh spending cuts that have resulted, that chainsaw is no joke because it has resulted in real impacts in their lives, in mass layoffs of government workers and economic hardship for so many in both of our countries that none of this is a joke. And at the same time as in the United States, the Argentine government has stepped up the repression of the right to protest. The Ministry of Security has implemented a deliberate policy of intimidation, which has prohibited social movements from taking to the streets. I can attest that has not stopped them. In the face of these layoffs and this repression, the Roundtable has worked day and night to organize diverse sectors of society around the threats to pensioners. They are what Vanessa Dorado of Attack Argentina, who co-nominated them for the award, called the galvanizers of the wide array of groups protesting Milei's cuts. The Roundtable organized two of the largest protests in Argentina under the current government of Milei, one of which was brutally repressed, leaving several people injured. In these protests, the major union federations of Argentina have been marching side by side, shoulder to shoulder with the Roundtable. Yesterday, I had the honor of meeting with the Roundtable at the AFL-CIO building. We welcomed them into the House of Labor because we are siblings. And midway through the meeting, they checked their phones. It was a Wednesday. Now, I was kind of like, what's up? Why are they checking their phone? Well, Wednesday is the day of protest in Argentina, and we were sort of getting in the way of their protest. So they checked the phone because at 4 o'clock, right? At 4 o'clock, they do a protest in front of their parliament. And I said, oh, you know, this is daily. They said it is the 1,751st protest. Now here I am thinking, I've spent a long time protesting. I'm in the labor movement. But man, 1,751. And I think Marcos, who you will hear from shortly, may have been at a lot of those. Very impressive. And it fills me with admiration and inspiration because we know showing up to protest means being courageous, showing our people, our pueblo, our community that we are there and we are going to continue to fight. May this bravery in the face of repression inspire all of us in the country. We've got No King's Day coming up and many other protests that will be happening. And in turn, I call on all of us to embrace the struggle of the Roundtable and make it ours, make it our own. We've got carrying across generations. We've got our own fight. We need to stand shoulder to shoulder. In this spirit, it is my deep pleasure to present the 2025 International Letelier Moffitt Human Rights Award to my siblings in the movement, the National Coordinating Roundtable of Organizations of Retirees and Pensioners of the Republic of Argentina.
I'm tall, I can just stand here, right? Yeah, I think so.
Bueno.
¿Usted un párrafo?
Sí. La Mesa Coordinadora Nacional de Organizaciones de Jubiladas, Jubilados de la República Argentina agradece a las compañeras y los compañeros del IPS y el resto de los referentes internacionales presentes en este acto el homenaje a las luchas de las jubiladas y jubilados de la Argentina.
The National Coordinating Roundtable of the retiree organizations in Argentina extends our deep thanks to our friends at IPS and to other international organizations present at this event, paying tribute today to the struggle of retired persons in Argentina.
Con este acto, nuestro reconocimiento a la memoria del asesinato de Orlando Letelier y Ronnie Carpenter Moffitt, compañeros luchadores de la patria grande latinoamericana y caribeña. Estos asesinatos fueron parte de la ofensiva terrorista de Estado que impuso la lógica de la liberalización económica bajo el rótulo neoliberal.
We honor the memory of Orlando Letelier and Ronnie Carpenter Moffitt, partners in the struggles of our great common homeland of Latin America and the Caribbean. Their murders were part of an offensive of state terrorism carried out with the logic of so-called economic liberalization or neoliberalism.
Nuestra lucha cotidiana en la Mesa Coordinadora de Organizaciones de Jubilados articula con las diferentes agrupaciones de jubiladas y jubilados la resistencia en defensa de nuestro derecho a una vida digna, enfrentando las políticas de la barbarie ejercidas por el presidente Javier Milei.
Our daily work at the National Coordinating Roundtable of retiree organizations is to help organized groups of retirees and pensioners work together to defend their right to life with dignity by opposing the barbaric policies of President Javier Milei.
La brutalidad de este gobierno se expresa en una política económica que se sustenta en el ajuste del haber jubilatorio a niveles inhumanos, que no alcanzan tan siquiera para una alimentación saludable mínima de un adulto mayor, con consecuencias graves para la salud de los mismos.
The brutality of his administration is expressed in its economic policies, which are cutting retirement benefits to truly inhumane levels, levels that don't even minimally cover the food needs of older persons and therefore have serious consequences for our health.
La canasta básica de bienes y servicios para la subsistencia de un adulto mayor es apenas satisfecha con los magros ingresos previsionales que, en el mínimo ingreso que recibe el mayor porcentaje de jubilados y pensionados, apenas cubre el 25% de las necesidades básicas de subsistencia.
The basic basket of goods and services for the subsistence of older adults cannot be purchased with the meager retirement income that most retirees and pensioners receive. In fact, that minimum amount covers only 25% of the basic needs basket.
Entre otros aspectos que hacen visible la crueldad es que los jubilados, las jubiladas de nuestro país contaban con la cobertura del 100% en medicamentos otorgados por su obra social, el PAMI. El gobierno libertario de Milei y sus cómplices en el Congreso, las gobernaciones provinciales y el Poder Judicial favorecieron la reducción o eliminación de ese subsidio en medicación, acentuando esta restricción en medicamentos de las enfermedades más riesgosas y de urgente atención.
You can see the cruelty of their policies when you consider that retired persons in our country used to have 100% of their medications covered by the public health insurance program called PAMI. Now, the libertarian Milei and his accomplices in Congress, the provisional governments, and the judicial branch are working towards the reduction or elimination of this subsidy, making it harder for seniors to acquire medicines for dangerous illnesses that require urgent attention.
Adicionemos que se acompaña este ajuste feroz con represión física sobre los cuerpos adultos. Se apalea a mujeres y hombres de más de 80 años, se rocía con gas pimienta los rostros de jubiladas, jubilados, pensionistas durante estos 2 años de gobierno. Son acontecimientos ejecutados de forma sistemática todos los miércoles frente al Congreso Nacional.
The savage reduction of benefits is accompanied by physical repression against the bodies of our seniors. Over the last 2 years, women and men 80 years and over have been beaten with clubs. Pensioners have had pepper gas sprayed in their faces. This kind of thing happens every Wednesday as people come out to protest in front of the National Congress.
Pese a esta represión, las jubiladas, los jubilados, no solo continuaron ejerciendo su derecho constitucional a la protesta y sus movilizaciones, cumpliendo este miércoles 8 de octubre 1.750 miércoles de protestas y demandas con propuestas no escuchadas y agudizadas con la política de este gobierno, donde todas las voces participan en formato de radio abierta. Una movilización que se fue ampliando con la presencia de sindicatos, de trabajadoras, de trabajadores, de organizaciones territoriales, culturales, de género, estudiantiles, que constituyen una trinchera contra la barbarie de Milei y sus cómplices, los que atacan en su conjunto al movimiento popular.
In spite of this repression, retired persons have not only continued to exercise their constitutional right to protest and mobilize, but as of yesterday, October 8th, they have now done so for 1,750 Wednesdays in a row. For 1,750 weeks, they have protested and made demands and proposals. But their protests, demands, and proposals have been ignored, and the government policies have become sharper. So participation is increasing now with labor unions, regional organizations, cultural groups, gender rights groups, student groups, and others coming into the trenches with us to fight against the barbaric actions of Milei and his accomplices. And now the government is having to fight the entire popular movement.
Resulta elocuente la crueldad cuando verificamos que además de atacar a pensionadas, pensionados, jubiladas, jubilados, la agresión se manifiesta también con la restricción a la ayuda social a las discapacitadas y discapacitados.
We say with irony that their cruelty has become even more eloquent now, because not only are they attacking pensioners and retirees, men and women, but they're also cutting off social assistance to disabled persons.
Somos conscientes que la política de Milei expresa el fenómeno internacional que es el del avance de la ultraderecha a nivel mundial y expresa la ofensiva del capital contra los derechos de las trabajadoras y trabajadores de todo el mundo.
We're aware that Milei's policies are part of something that's happening internationally, the rise of the extreme right wing all over the world. It's a part of the battle of capital against the rights of the workers of the world.
Para nosotros, todo derecho que beneficia a los trabajadores y al conjunto del campo popular es un paso adelante para el conjunto de la humanidad. En sentido contrario, para la ultraderecha, los libertarios constituyen un paso atrás.
For us, any right that benefits workers and the working class in general is a step forward for humanity. But the ultra-right and the libertarians don't see it that way. They think these rights are a step backwards.
Estamos ante un capitalismo de época que pone en riesgo al conjunto de la humanidad e incluso al planeta Tierra. Es un orden socioeconómico que quiere naturalizar la desigualdad, la violencia, el delito, la especulación, el tráfico de drogas, de armas y la trata de personas, que promueve el belicismo, el armamentismo, el genocidio en Gaza, todo lo que es propio de nuestro tiempo histórico.
Today we're seeing the kind of capitalism that endangers humanity and endangers even the planet Earth. It's a socio-economic order that seeks to normalize inequality, violence, crime, speculation, drug and weapons trafficking, human trafficking. It promotes war and weapons buildup and even genocide in Gaza. This is all part and parcel of our time in history.
Sostenemos que el protagonismo de los pueblos, de las trabajadoras y los trabajadores en forma articulada, nacional e internacionalmente, es el camino para resistir la ofensiva reaccionaria contra el conjunto de los derechos humanos en sentido integral para lograr la paz y la justicia en todo el mundo.
We maintain that if we are to resist this reactionary offensive, protect human rights in their most holistic forms, and bring peace and justice to the world, we must do so through the leadership and organization of working people and social groups, nationally and internationally.
La solidaridad del Instituto de Estudios Políticos en estos encuentros representa un gran aporte para todos aquellos que pensamos en un proceso de humanización y emancipación social en el cual pongamos en el centro de las políticas de Estado el bienestar de los pueblos. Muchas gracias, compañeras y compañeros.
And I'll just finish that last part up.
Aplaudir en castellano.
Creo que lo entendieron.
¿Lo entendieron?
The last paragraph is that the solidarity of the Institute for Policy Studies expressed in events like these is a great contribution towards all of those who are committed to humane and liberating social policies that place the well-being of the people at the center of every decision. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Marcos, and the rest of you for all the magnificent work you do. And thanks to Kathy Ogle as well for years of flawless interpretation for IPS. And now for a special treat. Navasha Daya is an exceptionally gifted and seasoned recording and performing artist, singer-songwriter, composer, producer, arranger, choreographer, curator, and committed cultural arts activist who is internationally known as a breathtaking performer. Navasha has performed all over the globe with many remarkable artists, including two who have performed at this ceremony in years past, Joan Baez and the Grammy Award-winning a cappella group Sweet Honey in the Rock. Please welcome Navasha Daya.
Peace and love, everyone. I really appreciate the invitation to share my artistry with you all. And just want to congratulate all those who have been acknowledged, and just acknowledge all who are just doing the work for fight for liberation and healing and justice for humanity. So I'm going to offer a few songs that speak to that. The first one is by Miriam Makeba. It's called I'm Home. Zing, sing a number. Bang, sing, lang, lang, on energy home. Yaze young, kusha, stagabe, dagaleza namo, agio, yeah. Agia, whoa, Gia, Gia, Bang, sing, lang, lang, yela, babe, yeah. Zeng, sing, a number. Home, yaze young, kusha, stagade, some guy namo, agio, yeah, Gia, whoa, Gia, Gia, whoa, Gia, Gia, As an artist and doing the work I do in community, I have a nonprofit and do work in the community on the grounds in Baltimore, in a community that's has the largest public housing east of the Mississippi River. and utilizing arts and culture for social change, working with young people, elders, intergenerational work is very important. So I take being an artist very seriously as it relates to offering songs that speak to uplifting humanity. And I'm very aware of what Mary McCabe went through, so I love her. The next song is written by my husband, arranged by me. It's called I Too Dream of Things Beautiful, because that's what we're trying to do. We're not like agitated, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to make the world beautiful. That's what we want, so I want to offer that song to you. After 40 long years, embracing his children for the very first time. Grandmother whose family lets her know how much they love her for all she endured. Present and future generations, emotions and sensations are electric. You got to breathe them to disperse to the beauty in you. I know it's hard to dream when something with me? Can you just say this sound with me? Just breathe in. Just say the sound. Oh. We're going to do it 2 more times. Breathe in. Oh. One more time, man. Oh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Navasha. That was spectacular. Thank you for that performance. It is now my distinct pleasure to invite to the podium 2 powerhouse women who have been mentors and allies to IPS for decades. And they're like sisters, and that's been mentioned tonight, so it's so special to have them both here with us. They want to say a few words about IPS, and then Aijan will present the domestic award. Sarita Gupta is Vice President at the Ford Foundation and former Executive Director of Jobs with Justice. Shout out to Ford, which won the 2002 Letelier Moffitt Human Rights Award. She is the co-author with the brilliant Erica Smiley of The Future We Need, Organizing for Economic Democracy in the 21st Century. She chairs the board of IPS. She is my boss and has been one of my and IPS's most valued thought partner for decades. Aijan Poo is an award-winning organizer, writer, and a leading voice in the women's movement. She is a nationally recognized expert on caregiving, the future of work, and what's at stake for women of color. She is the author of the celebrated book, The Age of Dignity, Preparing for the Elder Boom in a Changing America, and co-host of the podcast Sunstorm. We at IPS were proud to be with Aijan as she created the National Domestic Workers Alliance. Proud to present her and the Women of Domestic Workers United the Letelier Moffitt Human Rights Award in 2009, and proud to be there with Aijan and Sarita as they built the dynamic coalition Caring Across Generations. Welcome to both of you.
Oh, this is such a beautiful night to be here. I really needed this. It's been a day, it's been a week, it's been a year. Holy cow. But this is, I totally agree with Kathy. This is like one of the events I look forward to every single year, to just be with all of you and to be in community in such a beautiful space. And I just want to congratulate Marcos again and thank you for all of your incredible work. It is so inspiring to hear about your work. And Navasha, what a voice. Oh my God, I got completely carried away. Just what an incredible voice. And thank you for reminding us that we do have the right to dream of beautiful things, right? So I love chairing the board of IPS, and I just want to take a moment to honor and thank my fellow board members who are here, who do a lot of work to support IPS. And I'm really excited to be able to talk tonight and really share that at the close of IPS's 50th anniversary celebration in 2013, my sister Aijan and I, we got to join the great Harry Belafonte, and we offered a toast to the top 5 reasons why we love IPS. So we've updated it a bit for tonight in the midst of the frontal assault on free speech, an assault that IPS has faced before and has come out stronger. So we ask you tonight to be generous and to go to the QR code on the back of your programs and on the screen and support this institution that we love.
So reason number 5, why we love IPS. The people. I mean, take a look around. If you've ever seen a room full of good people, this is the room. The people in and around this organization are truly inspiring. The inequality and peace scholars. Who knew you could be a scholar of peace? Amazing. The environmentalists, the journalists, the economists, the poets, the writers. We love the dedication and drive of the people connected to this organization and the leadership. Tope and Kathleen, we celebrate you, your vision, your commitment. And John Cavanagh, where are you? John Cavanagh. John Cavanagh is our forever best friend and best cheerleader. Thank you for always, always being with us. IPSers, we love you, and we cannot imagine doing this work without you.
All right, so number 4, the commitment to connecting ideas to actions and movements, not just connecting locally and nationally, but globally as well. My first introduction to IPS was the global justice movement when I was a young organizer at Jobs of Justice. I got to see IPS's commitment to connecting grassroots US movements to those with our brothers and sisters around the world. That stayed with me and has shaped my politics and my work for years. From Argentina to the Middle East, from Chile to Mississippi, from DC to San Salvador, these connections draw together prison abolitionists fighting for trans rights in Nebraska with Chilean students and movements for Black and Indigenous rights across the Western Hemisphere. It is truly inspiring.
Reason number 3, the role IPS plays in lifting up young organizers and mentoring young fellows. IPS is not afraid of making big bets on new leaders with bold dreams. When Sarita and I were first trying to build our coalition of families, older people, disabled people, and care workers to push for affordable, quality care for families alongside good care jobs, the effort that became Caring Across Generations, everyone in this town looked at us like we were naive and impractical, except IPS. IPS fully supported us and told us again and again, we need more ambitious demands, more ambitious campaigns, si se puede.
So the second reason we love IPS is the undeniable sense of possibility you bring to public policy, never allowing us to be limited by what's considered politically viable. I can say for us that the many times we have come to IPS with dreams, with real ideas, and to have IPS embrace those ideas and work with us on them. We have such an appreciation for that, and this example of Caring Across Generations is a profound one for us, because it really is true that when we first even put the idea out there in the world, people did think we were naive, except for IPS. We found our home at IPS, where we did truly get incredible support. But there are countless other examples I could lift up of where IPS has stood with organizations and said, to Aijen's point, more bold, let's be more bold, let's be more ambitious. And Anne, you said it beautifully. This organization, this institute, is really about making sure that we understand that justice is possible.
Okay, finally, number 1 reason why we love the Institute for Policy Studies. There can be no question that in the battle for the future of this country, actually for the very soul of this country, that ideas matter. And the kind of ideas that come out of the Institute for Policy Studies are about people. That the kind of ideas we need going forward to help bring us together in common purpose and for a shared vision far greater than anything, any reality that we have ever known in this country. And that is what's going to get us through.
But we all know none of this work happens without your help. So IPS remains one of the only policy institutions in this country that doesn't take funding from the federal government or corporations. So please join us. Yes, we should celebrate that. It is a big deal. So please join us in taking your phone out right now. I know you all have phones. Take your phone out. We would love to raise more than $10,000 tonight. So can we do that? Come on, can we make that happen? We have the QR code on the screen and on the back of your program, and it'll take you to the donation page. Inside your program, there are pledge cards that you can fill out if you'd like to commit to supporting this work later this week. At the end of the ceremony, IPS staff will be collecting cash and pledge cards in the baskets in the back of the room. So here's what each donation buys. First of all, I just want to make sure you're with me, right? $10,000, we can make it? Can we raise that tonight? Okay. $50 helps IPS put progressive messages, stories from impacted people, and real solutions in front of 12,000 Heartland readers on social media. Every $150 helps us reach over 35,000 people. Come on, people, that's important. We got to get the word out, right? $200 funds an op-ed telling the story of real people impacted by this administration's policies. These stories are syndicated to millions of readers who most need to hear them. And people need to feel heard, they need to feel a sense of belonging, and IPS helps make that happen. So if you haven't donated, donate now, donate now. And $1,000 helps fund the research, writing, and design of an IPS report whose findings go in front of policymakers and millions of Americans through media pitching and reporting. So please, really, I really hope you will seriously donate to IPS. And I just want to take a minute. If you are on the staff of IPS, could you just either stand up if you can or raise your hand? Woo! Woo-hoo! Stand up, raise your hand. These are truly, truly gems in our movement. They do so much incredible work. We should support them in this incredible work that they do. So please, please, please donate. So with that, I'm going to hand the program over.
Thank you, my dear sister Sarita. So let's please, let us please give generously tonight. Generosity and solidarity are twins. They are twins. Okay, 16 years ago, I stood on the IPS stage with 8 powerful domestic worker leaders from New York to receive the 2009 Letelier Moffitt Human Rights Award. And so it's incredibly moving and humbling for me to be here today to present that same award to an organization and an individual who are modeling the exact courage that we need in this moment, when the fight for safety and dignity of immigrants has never been more urgent and important. Friends, tonight we honor the incredible work of the Detention Watch Network. Since 1997, Detention Watch Network has worked tirelessly to transform the immigration paradigm in our country from an emphasis on punishment and incarceration and deportation toward a system rooted in dignity. IPS and my own organization, the National Domestic Workers Alliance, have been involved with their Defund Hate campaign to redirect spending on ICE and Customs and Border Patrol toward the programs and services our communities desperately need. Since the beginning of the Trump administration's hateful war against immigrants, the small staff of Detention Watch has been fighting on all fronts, defending immigrant communities across this country. Their advocacy has blocked the expansion of inhumane detention centers in Guantanamo Bay and Delaney Hall in New Jersey. They are constantly monitoring plans for new detention contracts so we know and we can organize opposition before they become operational. They're helping the American public understand the violence at the heart of immigration detention and how much stronger our country would be if we redirected public funds to things we really need, like childcare and housing and health care. And they're connecting the dots between US foreign and immigration policy, connecting our movements for human dignity, for racial and economic justice in the US and all around the world. Tonight, we honor the Detention Watch Network in their fight for a world where immigrants can lead lives of safety, freedom, and dignity. And it is also my deep honor, one of the greatest honors of my life, to pay tribute to another awardee, Jeanette Vizguerra. This is very personal to me. Jeanette is a dedicated mother of 4, a grandmother, a domestic worker, a union organizer, and a respected leader in the state of Colorado. She came to the United States from Mexico in 1997 and worked as a janitor, which led her to become first a member and then an organizer of SCIU Local 105. Shout out to my purple siblings, fighting alongside her coworkers for respect and better pay, helping them move through fear, arguing that the power of the collective would support them, and it did. Jeanette is also a dedicated member of the National Domestic Workers Alliance. I first met Jeanette as part of our Wish for the Holidays campaign when she brought her children to Washington, D.C. To share their simple yet profound holiday wish, a wish shared by millions of children across the country to never be separated from their parents. When she was threatened with deportation, she became one of the nation's leading advocates for humane immigration policies, making the choice as an undocumented immigrant to fight for change at great risk to her own safety. Jeanette bravely took sanctuary in a Denver church for 3 months, leading the way for other immigrant leaders to take the same leap of courage. She co-founded the Metro Denver Sanctuary Coalition, played a critical role in Families Belong Together, and has been an active participant in the American Friends Service Committee. And in 2017, Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world. On March 16th of this year, Jeanette gave a speech denouncing the escalation of ICE raids and calling for greater protection for the immigrant community. The very next day, ICE agents abducted her outside of the Target store where she worked. One of the agents said, "Finally, we got you." Since that day 6 months ago, Jeanette has been incarcerated in an ICE detention center in Aurora, Colorado. Her lawyers believe that she was targeted for her activism in violation of her First Amendment rights. Jeanette is beloved. This country, Colorado in particular, is her home. Hundreds of union members, friends, elected officials, and strangers have rallied outside the detention center every Monday throughout all these months. Not yet 1,400, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Demanding that she be released. And even from behind bars, Jeanette has continued to speak out, now as a political prisoner. Jeanette is a beacon of bravery for countless people, including myself. And while bravery has always been an admirable quality, today in 2025, bravery is literally the only thing that will save us. With this award, we are screaming out to Jeanette and her beautiful family, you are not alone. And as we scream, you are not alone, we are reminding each other that we are not alone. And more importantly, we must be brave. And this is a room full of very brave people, I know that for sure. But we must stay brave, like Jeanette, knowing that we will not be alone. So we are awarding Jeanette in gratitude, not just for what she has done, but what she continues to model, bravery in the face of greater risk and higher stakes day after day. I'm so proud to present her with the Letelier Moffitt Award. Do the video. Do you want to sit down for the video, or do you want to stand up here with me?
How about you sit down? I want to see the video.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. We have a very special treat, which is that Jeanette sent a video today. And Luna and Zuri have not seen it yet. Jeanette, of course, cannot be here in person to accept this award, but we do have this beautiful video message from her, so we're going to go ahead and play that before we present the awards.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Jeanette Vizguerra, soy una activista por derechos de inmigrantes, pero no solo de inmigrantes, llevo 30 años haciendo todo tipo de trabajo por derechos laborales, civiles, humanos y justicia social aquí en Colorado, pero también a nivel nacional. Para mí hoy me siento agradecida y me siento honrada de que la institución de estudios de pólizas en Washington estén otorgando el premio Letelier Moffitt a los derechos humanos. Es un poco para mí emocional, ya que estoy recibiendo este premio el día de hoy, estando yo en detención en el centro de detención de Geoprocessing Center en Aurora. También quiero agradecer a la Alianza Nacional de Trabajadoras Domésticas, con las que he colaborado ya por varios años. Y este premio quiero dedicarlo directamente a mis hijos. Mis hijos están ahora recibiendo este premio ya que yo no puedo estar presente, pero también han estado durante toda su vida luchando junto conmigo, no solo por mi caso, sino por la comunidad. Este premio se lo dedico a ellos, pero también, y estoy emocional, basado en todo lo que está pasando, como todos los premios que he recibido atrás, quiero dedicárselo también a toda esa comunidad de inmigrantes resiliente que está luchando, tratando de salir adelante, afuera y adentro. Es la razón que hoy hago un llamado a la acción a toda la gente que está presente, que todos tenemos los valores y convicciones de justicia social a que me ayuden a promover la campaña que estoy promoviendo de boicot económico. Aún dentro de detención, todos los detenidos podemos hacer un impacto haciendo el boicot económico de no consumir comisarios, no consumir llamadas, tampoco videollamadas, que por cada día estas compañías y estas corporaciones que trabajan junto con Geoprocessing Center, CCI y las correccionales alrededor del país ganan billones y billones de dinero a costa de nuestro dolor, sufrimiento, y no vamos a permitir seguirlos haciendo crecer, pero ayúdenme a seguir luchando, no solo mi caso, sino seguir luchando en contra del sistema, ya que estoy viendo la manera de reabrir mi fondo legal de Sanctuary for All para apoyar a mi gente que no puede a veces quedarse porque no tienen para pagar un abogado. Y es necesario ahorita que luchemos de esa manera, de manera legal, pero también ayudando con fondos para sus casos legales para que más gente pueda seguir quedando en este país. Gracias otra vez al Instituto de Estudios de Pólizas por otorgarme ese premio y ese reconocimiento. Y recuerden que la lucha sigue, sigamos sembrando rebeldía hasta cosechar libertad. Y esto va para todos los inmigrantes.
I'd love to invite Satari Gandari from Detention Watch Network, the policy director at Detention Watch Network, to accept the award for Detention Watch Network, and Jeanette's daughters, Luna and Zuri, who are here to accept the award on her behalf.
I don't know if my fellow DWN staff members want to come up here with me or not. We also have the next generation up here. Hello. My name is Letelier Moffitt. I'm the Advocacy Director at Detention Watch Network, and on behalf of our organization and our staff, some of whom are up here with me, I want to thank you for this award. Thank you to the Institute for Policy Studies for acknowledging Detention Watch Network's critical work, and thank you to our friends at the National Priorities Project for your continued collaboration. Detention Watch Network is a national coalition building power through collective advocacy, grassroots organizing, and strategic communications to abolish immigration detention in the United States. We have 115 organizational members across 27 states. With nearly 30 years in operation, Detention Watch Network believes in a world where every individual lives and moves freely, and a society in which racial equity is the norm and immigration is not criminalized. Simply put, we believe that immigration detention should not exist, and that everyone, regardless of where you're from or how you arrived in the United States, is worthy of dignity and respect. As an abolitionist organization, we know that immigration detention is part and parcel of struggles against racism, xenophobia, discriminatory policing, and mass incarceration. And our aims coincide with these broader struggles against racialized oppression. The struggles faced today can seem insurmountable. Trump's cruel mass detention and deportation agenda have reached a previously unimaginable scope and scale. The administration is ruthlessly pursuing a multi-layered detention expansion plan by proliferating ICE operations into other governmental agencies, using military bases as deportation hubs, and growing ICE partnerships with local sheriffs and county jails across the country. The administration has expanded surveillance, brought back this shameful practice of family detention, incarcerated people in an abusive mega prison in El Salvador, carried out third country deportations, and increased neighborhood and workplace raids that destabilize communities. People are then funneled into ICE's network of private prisons, county jails, state and federal prisons, and makeshift detention camps that subject people to medical neglect, overcrowding, horrendous conditions of confinement, and rampant transfers that disappear people into the detention system, sowing confusion, cutting people off from their loved ones and from their support networks. It cannot be overstated how dire this moment is. Trump's unprecedented agenda is unmistakably authoritarian, and the human toll and cost to all Americans is shocking. And yet, we find hope in people who are coming together to protect their family members, their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers. We find inspiration in DWN members and the communities joining Detention Watch Network's Communities Not Cages campaign that are resolute in their demands to shut down detention centers and halt ICE expansion. And most importantly, we find unwavering resilience in the people who are in detention, like Jeanette Vizguerra, and their families, who are bravely fighting for their freedom and exposing ICE abuses. ICE, now the largest enforcement agency in this country, is operating with never-before-seen funding to maintain the largest immigration detention system in the world. Trump's explosive growth of immigration detention comes at the expense of all Americans as people lose health care, struggle to pay rent, kids go hungry, and families worry over emergency preparedness and response amidst historic flooding and wildfires nationwide. Everyone must take action, whether that's joining a local Communities Not Cages campaign, signing up for DWN's email list, donating $5, following us on social media, signing our petitions, or even more simply, discussing with your family and friends. We must ring the alarm. Every person has the right to move and live freely in community and with their family without the fear of being separated from their loved ones or displaced from their home. Immigrants are vital and valued members of our communities, and we demand that elected leaders at all levels reject Trump's mass detention and deportation agenda. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Vizguerra, and I am here tonight with my sister Zuri on behalf of our mom, Jeanette Vizguerra, who is not able to be here today in person because she is in detention at the Geo Group detention facility in Aurora, Colorado. My mom was arrested by ICE on March 17th without a warrant or a current order of removal. She has lived in the U.S. For 30 years, raising her 4 kids here. She is a labor and community leader who has fought to defend workers and immigrant rights. And now she is being targeted by ICE in retaliation because she refuses to stay silent. It is an honor to receive the Letelier Moffitt Award on my mom's behalf. My mom taught us that we should speak up when we see something unfair. When we were younger, she brought us to DC to speak to members of Congress about stopping deportations and keeping families together. She should be here today accepting this award, but instead it is up to us now to speak up for her. The outpouring of support and solidarity from community for the past 6 months has given us a lot of hope, and it is what continues to fuel my mom's fight against her deportation and this unjust regime. As hard as it has been on me and my siblings, it'll never compare to what my mom is currently experiencing. It has now been over 180 days. She has not slept in her bed, has not had a home-cooked meal, and has not been with her family. I worry for her health as time progresses. She's currently been put on a gluten-free diet where they feed her rice, beans, lettuce, and a slice of turkey or ham. Prior to this, she told me how the meals would upset her stomach so severely she would need to take medication for it. She's had a couple occasions recently where her blood pressure spikes, and I'm certain that not only GO, they don't have enough medical staffing, but they don't have the proper treatments as well. My mother is someone that for over 30 years has worked relentlessly to care for her family and pays taxes in this country. Regardless of contributing or being a mother, my mother is a human being who deserves her freedom. She deserves to be able to go out to eat, to go hiking, to go dancing, to live her life, because she poses no risk to anyone. This administration has no real reason to hold my mom captive. And I say captive because that's what she is, a political prisoner. To me, it's clear Immigration and Customs Enforcement is kidnapping hardworking individuals for political gain. I ask that we continue to come together to not only highlight and support my family, but the families of the thousands within these detention centers. We must move forward and strategize on how to address the violence that this administration poses to our communities. If we look at history, change doesn't occur easily. It requires courage, risk, and disruption. Once again, I'm so thankful for everyone that is here today, and we will continue to organize until my mom is free, until they are all free. Until every single separated family is able to reunite. Thank you, and free Jeanette. I also did want to go ahead and mention that I believe on a screen coming up here shortly, there will be a QR code for the GoFundMe. As you guys know, legal expenses are extremely expensive. We do currently have a bill of about 20 grand with her lawyer, and although my mom does feel very confident in her work, she's expensive, once again. So not only for my family, but also for the other families in detention that have a hard time receiving commissary, receiving phone time. Anything that you can donate is very helpful and will not only help us out, but will help as many families as we can as possible.
Thank you so much. Yes.
With respect, I want to hear Ann Barnett speak by microphone because she didn't want to phone. And for equal rights, I want that she can have access to the microphone.
I should say my parents are Nigerian. I was taught to respect my elders, so I'm happy to, if you want to say a few words.
solves all problems. And I am just so happy to be part of this with all of you and to celebrate the courage, the stamina, the persistence, the putting one step after the other of the people in this room, including the people who've received these well-deserved awards. I send love to our detainee whose name I can't even, Jeanette, whose name I can't pronounce very well, but whom I honor, and I honor all the people who are simply working and continuing to bring peace and justice and honor and dignity to every single person who lives in this world. And what a room full of people who are doing this together. So let's stand together, let's work together, let's march together, let's be there on the 18th on the streets. And I just will say one thing that has impressed me so much, that we, now, many in this room are well-educated elites. I went to Harvard. And Orlando and Ronnie were both people who, had advantages in life. But I am so thrilled that IPS is standing with working people who are just trying to live and make it better for themselves and their neighbors, and who I'm just so glad that we're accompanying people who do not have voices ordinarily. And I hope that we can continue to raise our voices in any way we can and march with our feet and give our money and just stand with our neighbors and give their children a chance to live good lives in this world that is really so stacked against them. We're on the side of the humble, poor people. And if we're not, let's examine our consciences, my conscience, and align ourselves with real people in this world. I'm not speaking very well, but I think you get the idea.
Thank you. You spoke very, very well. Thank you so much for that intervention, and we appreciate all that you've done for IPS over the years and your sacrifices and your incredibly good work as well. Thank you. I also want to note that a GoFundMe was mentioned for Jeanette Vizguerra. You can find the QR code for that in your program, just to note. I also want to recognize IPS royalty. Representative Jamie Raskin is in the building. Thank you for coming. So here we are at the end. It's been truly a marvelous event for us. I mean, I was talking in the reception with some folks, and so many people came up to me and said, it's just incredible to be in community right now. And I know things are going poorly in so many ways, but the opportunity to be in community with all of you is so meaningful for us. This is why we do the work. It's wonderful to have an opportunity to see your faces, to have conversations, and to remember why we're doing the work. So thank you so much to all of you for being here this evening. There are many people to thank who have made this evening incredibly special. I want to give a shout out to Andy Shalal. Another board member, so another boss. Thank you, Andy. I thank you for all that you do for our community, and thanks for the terrific staff at Busboys and Poets for the delicious food this evening. Thank you to Yetta Galette for the support and for the wine. That's important. Deep thanks to Paramita Shah and Julie Mao of Just Futures Law for their help this evening. The team at IPS, who I get to work with every day, and they make it all worthwhile. But I want to single out Avia Krupnik, who leads this award ceremony with such grace and great skill. We're really grateful to you, Avia, for all that you've done. To all of you, we hope that you leave re-energized and with new friends and new connections in the fight for justice, the environment, and peace. As you leave, if you're able, please do contribute either through the QR code on the back of your program and the screen, or directly to the IPSer at the bottom of the staircase who is holding a basket. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for being here.